Welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome, all you dregs of society, all you rock dwellers, all you sycophants, all you stinko people who celebrate the president, honor America. You're always welcome here, and this is the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Rick Trader, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network, and joining me as my co-host is the patriot from the battle-born state, the silver state of Nevada, and that is Sharon Angle. Sharon, welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos, and there is so much that went on since you and I last met before the president went in a hospital, and thank God he's feeling better.
Right, and he's out. But, you know, while he was in there, it's kind of interesting. Nancy Pelosi, she said she thought his doctors were lying to the press about his condition. He was in a suite there, a presidential suite. I never heard of such a thing, but they have one at Walter Reed for the president just so that he can conduct business while he's in the hospital. And of course, he was doing that. He was doing everything that he needed to do. His blood pressure, I guess, dropped a couple of times, and that had them concerned. I mean, his blood oxygen, not his blood pressure, had them concerned that perhaps it just testing positive was going to be develop into something more serious. And then so I guess that's the reason he was in the hospital, because while he was there, he got in his SUV, his hermetically sealed SUV that can take all kinds of hits, and he went out and waved to the crowds of people that were praying for him on the outside of that hospital. Oh my goodness. Then they really went crazy. You know, not only now are his doctors lying, but he's out there trying to infect the rest, rest of us, I guess. He's just being so irresponsible, going out and telling, just through a hand wave. Honestly, he didn't get out of his car. He just wanted to let people know that he was okay, that this was not serious. He wasn't in a white gown. He was dressed in his suit. He was still the president, still acting as the president. This was just a precautionary measure rather than full-blown COVID. It wasn't something where Mike Pence was going to be asked to take over. So, I think it was kind of nice that he went out and was very reassuring to all of us that have been wondering, how this was all gonna go forward. If he's got COVID and most of his staff have tested positive for COVID, then what happens? But he was just reassuring everyone, and of course that just made the Democrats and the media go nuts.
Indeed. And a couple of things, the doctors. Well, let's go back. Friday afternoon, as everybody knows, the president was taken to the Walter Reed Army Hospital or military hospital with the Wuhan flu. He was there over the weekend, released on Monday, and the media have their undies in a bunch because of something the doctors didn't say. The doctors didn't initially say that he was on supplemental oxygen at a couple of different points. Well, Sharon, let's talk about supplemental oxygen. How many times have you ever seen a football game? And after running or after a great play, the star running back or the star quarterback goes over to the bench and puts an oxygen mask on. Remember that? Well, that's supplemental oxygen. I mean, gosh, you go all around the world today. There are people on supplemental oxygen, people with emphysema and other lung problems. It doesn't mean anything. It means the person needs a little bit more oxygen, needs an oxygen boost. In and of that self, is that life-threatening? No, it's not. Well, the doctors neglected to tell the media because the media got to know everything, right? Well, isn't there something called HIPAA? Privacy? Even though the man is the president, doesn't he deserve a little bit of privacy? Is it the doctor's business to tell the media every time the president urinates, defecates, or needs a little bit of oxygen? Do we need to know every little thing, Sharon Angle? We don't. We don't. President Trump is the man of the people. He is. He really is. People started gathering immediately at the Walter Reed Hospital with signs, with flags, encouragement for the president. Well, first thing, that night, Mark Meadows, his chief of staff, went out to thank those people and give them boxes of chocolate from the White House. That's a great thing. I don't think Mark Meadows did that on him by himself. It's probably the president that did that. Then a couple of times during his stay, the president released Twitter videos, again, reassuring the country that he was fine, thanking the people for their concerns, their wishes, their prayers. And then Sunday, he took a limo ride around Walter Reed, waving to the crowd from the inside the limousine, Sharon Angle. And of course, the left, the media hate this man so much. They criticize that. Sharon Angle, with the media, with the left, this man cannot win. He absolutely cannot win. If he says one, they'll say two. It doesn't matter what he does, what he says, what goes on in his life. These miserable people, that these people on the left, the media, will damn him. Doesn't matter, Sharon Angle. They are going to damn him.
Well, I don't, I think it's just kind of makes you chuckle a little bit to see them totally overreact. And you would think the way they're overreacting that they might be concerned,
Yep.
Oh, the doctors are lying, he's in worse condition, and then we
Yep.
thought, oh, we need to know more about him, because no, it's not concern. That's not what's going on here. They couldn't impeach him, and so now they're hoping. And I even heard one lefty say that she hoped he did get COVID and die. What, it's just amazing to me how truly nasty and mean and just it's a kind of beyond words the way that they treat this whole thing. And we're supposed to just sit back and say, oh, well, that's a normal reaction to somebody. If they are so concerned in this country that they'll shut down states, and I mean, we're still shut down here in Nevada. Our governor's, I think, starting to see the handwriting on the wall. He said we could now have a gathering of 250 if we wanted to now. But beside the point, they are so concerned about our welfare, and yet they can't be concerned about our president. They can't show true concern. It's all about, like you said, anything that he does concerning even his own health is wrong.
Yep. Well, I think the president is entitled to a little bit of privacy. Sharon, talk about supplemental oxygen. When my mother was sick, when she had cancer, we had an oxygen generator there. My mother-in-law, she had a supplemental oxygen machine there that she never really even used. Older people with medical conditions, you see people walking around, they've got these bags, it's an oxygen generator. Yeah, these are people walking on the streets. Oh, the media have to know every little hair that's out of place on this man. They are just so unfair. They're just so nasty. They are so vicious. And also the way they attacked the doctors was absolutely unbelievable. Hey, Sharon, let's take a break. We've got so much more to talk about, including our guests. We've got three great guests joining us here on Conservative Commandos today. That's what you're watching. That's what you're listening to, the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Angle. Yours truly, Rick Trader. Today's show, like all our shows, is being brought to you by the First Amendment, protected by the Second. Sharon and I will be right back.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And you know what? The hallmark of our show is the great guest that we have on here each and every day. And Sharon, today is no different. 3 of them will be joining us today.
That's right. We have Fred Lucas, who is an award-winning journalist and veteran White House correspondent who has written a book. It's called Abuse of Power, Inside the 3-Year Campaign to Impeach Donald Trump. Very interesting book, and it will be great to hear Fred talk about maybe some things that aren't even in the book concerning that. Our second guest is Dr. Gerard Lameiro. He's always a favorite of ours. He's an author, philosopher, economist, and engineer, author of 5 books, always on as guests on TV and radio talk. And he has written a new book, Real World Socialism, But his latest article is "Who Lost the Presidential Debate?" So we'll see what his take on that debate was. That was an interesting debate, no doubt about it. And finally, our good friend Dr. Rich Swier is going to be here with us. He's going to be talking about communism in the government and really where we're headed these days. So good lineup, good guests. Can't wait.
All right. Sharon, I wanted to talk with you about something. Joe Biden and taxing Social Security. And I'm looking at an article here from an organization called Verify. Question: did Joe Biden vote to tax Social Security benefits twice during his Senate career?
Yes.
The Verify team was sent an email which a viewer claimed that Joe Biden voted to tax Social Security benefits 2 times in his career. This is true. And it also says in 1983, Joe Biden joined a bipartisan effort to make a 50% of Social Security benefits taxable. He voted to tax Social Security. But he has other plans, Sharon Engel, other plans for our Social Security. Tell us about it.
Well, I think we should mention that in 1993, he kind of upped the ante there and voted again on Social Security to say that not only 50%, but 85% should be taxable income. So he raised the bar on Social Security. Usually you can't touch Social Security and get away with it. And I hope that any seniors that are listening will tell their friends that this is verifiable. He voted twice, 1983, 1993, to tax Social Security. So he'll do it again. But here's the thing that should really get to you. Yeah, on page 78 of the Democrat platform, it says that they want to tax our 401ks and our IRAs and introduce a 3% annual tax on our homes. So it's not just your retirement, your Social Security, but they want to, if you own your own home, that's considered some kind of an investment, and you should have to pay the income tax on that at 3% of the value. So, holy cow, Rick. Here I live in a $300,000 home in Reno right now. Let's see, 1% of 300,000 would be 3,000. 3% would be 9,000 a year in income tax on the value of my home. I mean, this is ridiculous. He is trying to introduce these taxes on middle class and the retirees. Why? Because he can't afford the other things that he wants to give us. All these great benefits of government they come at a price, Rick, and it's on us.
Well, let me say this. For those out there who say they could never put a $9,000 a year tax on a $300,000 home, let me educate you on the state of New Jersey. In the state of New Jersey, that's what you would pay in property tax on a $9,000 or a $300,000 home. You might pay more than that, Sharon Engel. So don't say that is unrealistic. That's unfair. In New Jersey, it's being done already, Sharon Engel.
Well, it's
our little home, Sharon. You've been to our little home, right? In Deptford, New Jersey. You've been to our little home. We pay $5,000 a year on our little home in taxes. So when you're saying 3% on our little home, well, there's another $5,000 a year that we would be paying in taxes. Sharon Engel, I've been saying for a long time, the only way that Joe Biden can pay for all the free things, and he advertises this on TV, that you would be getting a $7,000 a year tax credit for your children. All right, you'd be getting $15,000 to buy a home. That your Social Security is going to go up $1,400. Sharon, the only way to pay for all this, the only place left where they can get that kind of money is from your retirement, from your investments, from your bank account, your savings account, your checking account. All those things would need to be taxed to pay for all these free things that Joe Biden is promising us. Very interesting that we bring up the point. Joe Biden has already, when he was in the Senate, he's already voted to tax Social Security. Yet those are the people who say it's the Republicans, it's Donald Trump who's going to threaten your Social Security. Not only have they already done it, they're going to do it again, Sharon Angle.
Yep. I believe that this guy, he can't do anything else. We've called him tax and spend liberals for a long, long time. Well, here's the proof of it.
Here's the proof.
His voting record on Social Security over the years is just another slap in the face to retirees. And you know, they used to criticize us all the time for even talking about Social Security and how it needs to be a private retirement account. Well, here's the reason why. Because anytime your government's giving you money, there's a way for them to get it all back and then some. And that's exactly what they're doing with Social Security. They've raided the trust fund. They're actually paying us with the payments that our children are putting in from their jobs. There's nothing there for our kids to collect when they get to retirement age. Plus, they tax us on what we receive from our children. I mean, give us a break. Don't do us any favors, Mr. Biden. Set us free. Set us free of this whole horrible thing. If we're going to have to live off our children or live with our children, at least give us a break.
Live off our children are not going to have anything, Sharon Angle.
Right.
This debt, this massive debt that's been run up by the government, both parties have run up this massive debt. Sharon, they're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. When you've got a $25 trillion debt, Sharon Angle, you and I are not going to be around long enough to pay that debt. It's going to be our children and our grandchildren, so forget living off your children. They're not going to have anything either. Sharon Angle, I'm afraid to say that our generation might be the last generation that had it better than our parents. I mean, your children, your grandchildren, my God, with this massive debt, with these promises that are being made, free college, on top of everything, free medical care, increases in Social Security benefits. They're saying increases in Social Security benefits on one hand, Sharon. They're taking out of our Social Security with the other hand, Sharon. This is just unsustainable. I mean, Sharon, at some point, the can has got to stop in a rut. Kicking the can down the road is going to stop. And
when they begin to tax your home, it's the end of home ownership, isn't it? I mean, doesn't that mean that you're in my generation maybe the last to own our homes?
Well,
to actually not live in an apartment and the gulag. I mean, it's
remember Dr. Zhivago? Remember Dr. Zhivago? Zhivago and his family lost his home. Zhivago and the family, their home was confiscated by quote unquote the people. All right, remember that? 10 people were living in Dr. Zhivago's home. They had to move out. All right, same thing's going to happen here, Sharon Angle.
Good.
We can't let that happen. Sharon, we got to take a break. Get our first guest on. My nose starts to itch when I get angry. It really does. It starts to itch. Your nose is itching. Your is itching for a fight. We are in for a fight, Sharon Angle. You are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Our first guest is going to be Fred Lucas. He's a veteran White House correspondent. Going to talk about Fred's new book, Abuse of Power, Inside the 3-Year Campaign to Impeach Donald Trump. Be right back. Don't go away.
Mom, thank God you're gonna be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm gonna call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing one-day bath and shower remodeling. The complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day. And for as little as $1.99 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And as I love to do, let's give shout outs to folks who are listening to us on our radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, as well as Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C., as well as seen on the AUN television network in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Jose, all the way up to Redding. Our guest this segment is Fred Lucas. Fred is an award-winning journalist. He's also a veteran White House correspondent and has reported for the Daily Signal, Fox News, Newsmax, The Blaze, Town Hall, The National Interest, History Magazine, Quarterly, and a bunch of others. Fred has a new book out, The Abuse of Power, Inside the 3-Year Campaign to Impeach Donald Trump. Fred Lucas, welcome back. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Rick.
You bet, buddy. Well, Fred, your book could not have come out at a more timely time in our nation's history. Tell us a little bit about your book and its genesis.
Okay, well, largely came just from my daily coverage of the whole impeachment fiasco that started last year. But I think it's pretty timely now because I heard Democrats talk about impeachment again.
Hey, Fred, hold up for a minute. Hold up. I'm getting,
Sure.
Sherry, could I ask you to mute your microphone for a minute? Getting feedback.
I don't even have my microphone hooked up.
All right. On the bottom of your screen, Sharon, put your cursor over your screen. Okay. And on the bottom, you can just mute your microphone there. All right. All right. So, Fred, just let me ask you. Let me ask a question. We'll go from there.
Sure. Okay.
So, Fred, tell us about the genesis of your book.
Okay. Well, the genesis was in part just from covering the whole impeachment fiasco that started last year, and I'm pretty much on a daily basis, and looking into a little bit more of the backstory of this. And you used the word genesis, actually, genesis of the book. One of the things that I quoted a House Democrat that had been pushing for impeachment for a long time. Mm-hmm. He said the genesis of impeachment was the day that Donald Trump announced he was running for president. And that's essentially what the book, Abuse of Power, inside the 3-year campaign to impeach Donald Trump, it illustrates that from the moment that basically the Wednesday after Trump was elected president, there were those on the left. First, they were a little bit more on the fringes, but eventually more congressional Democrats started saying the quiet part out loud. Went up to a crescendo, and we got this impeachment for the first time, an election year impeachment trial in the Senate without any clear, definable charges. These vague charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, neither of which are actually defined illegal statutes. And in part, the title comes from maybe a little bit of double entendre in the sense that, yes, abuse of power was one of the charges, but it's also something that a noted constitutional attorney, Jonathan Turley, said is what Congress was doing and going forward with this impeachment.
Well, Fred, there's a lot of talk, a lot of speculation that if should the Democrats maintain control of the House of Representatives, even if Donald Trump wins the re-election, that Nancy Pelosi is talking about more arrows in her quiver to prevent. Right. Talk a little bit about that, if you will.
Yeah, that's this is very timely right now because Nancy Pelosi has talked about impeachment as an arrow in her quiver. She backed away a few days later, but saying he's, quote, not worth impeachment. The problem is she used that very same phrase in 2019, saying she's not for impeachment, that he's not worth it, but she was completely steamrolled by her caucus. She had no control over the far left in her caucus, largely the Squad and some other people who pushed and pushed and pushed, and she was afraid that she would lose her leadership position, and that's explained pretty thoroughly in the book Abuse of Power. Mm-hmm. And the book is based on numerous interviews on Capitol Hill, in the White House. So you get, the readers are going to get what's a really behind the scenes flavor for this and what happened, particularly on Capitol Hill, and particularly how there was this total collapse of leadership by Pelosi, and also some details about how Adam Schiff did a lot of maneuvering to essentially knock Jerry Nadler out of the way so he can take control of this whole process.
Fred Lucas, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. How do you think she was an influence on Nancy Pelosi to bring charges of impeachment on the president?
Oh, she was a major influence because Initially, Pelosi felt like she could basically shut that group down. She thought that she could shut down the squad, and as traditionally could be done by a senior party leader against a insurgent freshman class, but it didn't work. They had enough popularity with the hardcore left-wing base. She became afraid of losing her speakership because that had been she had a near rebellion when she after Democrats took the majority, and she had to cut some deals in order to keep the leadership role. She also she got in a bit of a public dispute with the squad, and they ended up pulling the race card on her, which is a sort of favorite pastime of Democrats usually, but they usually do it on Republicans. They ended up doing it on Nancy Pelosi. Another aspect of this is that the Democrats who ran as moderates in 2018 and gave Pelosi her majority, they were very afraid of getting a primary challenge, and they were more afraid of getting a primary challenge, which could ruin their electoral chances, than they were trying to explain to their constituents in these purple and red districts about why they voted up with their party on what was probably going to be an inconsequential impeachment vote. And so the squad basically had everyone terrified, and including ultimately Pelosi, and that's why they were able to unite. There was a point in the book where I explained in which Pelosi was running after they seemingly made peace. Pelosi had a picture with AOC, posted it on all her social media and her website, but AOC did not do the same. And that was sort of this message from AOC to Pelosi that you get leverage from me, not the other way around.
Fred, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit shocked. I'm a little bit shocked by the effect that AOC has had on Nancy Pelosi. After all, we are talking about a first-time congresswoman, if you will, a first-time congresswoman. It's like the dog wagging the tail. Politics, Fred, is changing. It used to be the wisdom would be that Nancy Pelosi could shut somebody up like that with the snap of the fingers, especially with all the power and money that Nancy Pelosi has and wields. The fact that now you've got the squad, these 4 members of the squad, has changed their party and is changing the country. It's really scary, Fred Lucas.
It is, and I think it's in part an outgrowth of identity politics with those 4, but it also draws back to you did have the even before the squad came in, you had people like Maxine Waters, Brad Sherman, and others who were really, really pushing for impeachment in the House. They were not really. They didn't have the leverage on the leadership that, or even the Congressional Progressive Caucus before. And then you had this like very charismatic left-wing group of 4 lawmakers who came in and really started pushing various agendas. And Pelosi was worried about a divide in the party. It also helped. President Trump probably maybe shot himself in the foot a little bit on this. He pounced into the middle of it with a tweet disparaging the squad. That gave Pelosi this out, and she jumped in to defend the squad, so progressives would like her again. And that's one area where she thought she came to understand that if she was going to arm twist, she was going to have to arm twist moderates, because arm twisting the progressives was just going to be too difficult.
Right.
And and it's usually the leader. The leader has to like try to pull the two caucuses together in some way, and they usually have to make the fringe of the base or fringe of the party pull over. And Pelosi just learned a lesson from this whole squad ordeal that she's not going to be able to deal with the far left in her caucus.
Very, very interesting. Our guest this segment is Fred Lucas. He's an award-winning journalist, veteran White House correspondent. We're discussing Fred's latest book, Abuse of Power, inside the three-year campaign to impeach Donald Trump. Hey, Fred, we got to take a real quick break. Could you hold on with us, please?
Yeah, sure thing.
And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Don't go away. We'll be back with our guest with more right after this break.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Our guest this segment is Fred Lucas. He's an award-winning journalist. He's also a veteran White House correspondent. And we're discussing Fred's book, Abuse of Power, Inside the 3-Year Campaign to Impeach Donald Trump. Fred, thank you for holding through that break. And my co-host, Sharon Engel, I know wants to get into this conversation. Sharon?
Yes, thank you, Fred, for exposing this. It's really kind of enlightening to see who the players are right now, and not only the squad and how influential they are. And I think you explained that pretty good, why that is. I guess I'm wondering what will happen now that Ilhan Omar has been implicated in a voter fraud scandal there in Minneapolis. But moving along, Mitt Romney is a player. I don't understand his part in this.
Yeah, that's interesting. And the book Abuse of Power gets into the actual Senate trial and some of the machinations there. And according to some senators that were interviewed and people who know about this, Romney's vote to convict the president and try to remove him from office in the Senate was very likely a deciding factor that ensured that 3 moderate Democrats fell in line with their party. And these were 3 who were considering rebelling. They were Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema, and Doug Jones out of Alabama, all red states, and these guys these senators believed that their constituents were pretty much against the impeachment, pretty much thought that move a president from office, duly elected president from office over a phone call was fairly silly. You even had Joe Manchin, the day before the vote, go to the Senate floor and insist that we shouldn't have this is the type of thing that should maybe be a censure. We could have maybe potentially a bipartisan censure on this and move beyond the whole notion of trying to convict and remove a president from office. That pretty much seemed like he was not on board with this whole thing verbally. There was Ted Cruz had actually talked about this. Mike Lee talked about seeing this, that there was Sinema and Manchin actually had come back into the Senate chamber. They looked like they had been scolded pretty heavily. And this was generally the sense that among senators and among others that once Romney announced that he would be voting to convict, at that point Schumer pretty well laid down the law and said we cannot have any defections on our side because with Romney now we can say we had a bipartisan vote.
Okay, I just didn't think that Romney had that much political savvy. It seems like he's on the wrong side of most issues, and I wouldn't think anybody would be seriously following after him, especially Democrats who really stand to have a big challenge, especially this year.
Yeah, Doug Jones in particular. I think some of it came down to Doug Jones probably believed he didn't have a very good chance of winning either way, and he wanted to have a good future with the Democratic Party in some way. There's probably, if he stood solidly with the party, there was probably going to be a payoff somehow, somewhere along the way after he lost. Maybe an ambassador, a Biden administration, or something along those lines.
Well, like I said, it's really interesting that Mitt Romney would even have pull with 3 moderate Democrats that need to keep their seats. But moving along, there's a thing going on with Schiff and Nadler. Talk about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something, and abuse of power gets into really the backstory between these two. It was apparent during the Senate trial when the two had a kind of a comical foot race, in which Nadler managed to get to the podium before Schiff did, and you heard the Schiff sort of whispering to him, "Jerry, Jerry, Jerry." But the rivalry happened way before then, and it was essentially Jerry Nadler, as the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, was pretty much the guy in charge, or who was supposed to be in charge of overseeing a House impeachment. That's not what happened in this case, because we ended up having Adam Schiff was very ambitious. Adam Schiff, he'd actually handled some judicial impeachments years earlier. And he was very ambitious, wanted to be in on this, very much disliked Trump. And, of course, he had discredited himself largely with saying that he knows secret information about Russia collusion and so forth. Nevertheless, he was close with Pelosi. And after Nadler had bungled a few hearings, one hearing with the Mueller hearing, which got a lot of attention, but Nadler also bungled the hearing with Corey Lewandowski. Nancy Pelosi had decided that if she does get pushed into impeachment, she is not going to go with Nadler, because he was a train wreck. He just got completely rolled, as opposed to the very aggressive and ambitious Schiff. Now, Adam Schiff also, abuse of power inside the 3-year campaign to impeach Donald Trump, it lays out that Schiff was knowledgeable of what was coming in this whistleblower complaint before it was made public. First of all, the people, his staff had actually talked to the whistleblower, and further, he had tweeted and he had talked about publicly and complained about this money that he claimed was being withheld from Ukraine. That at a time when Rudy Giuliani was investigating Joe Biden. This basically, he was laying out this supposed impeachable offense well before this whistleblower complaint to the Inspector General went public. So that also raises a lot of red flags and raises a lot of questions as to how much he had been really planning this and sort of hoping that it would fall into place.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. We are up against a hard break. We've been talking with our guest, Fred Lucas, about his new book, Abuse of Power. Fred, tell us how our listeners can friend you, follow you, get a copy of your book, just generally know more about what you do.
Okay, yeah, sure. Hope you can read my stories on dailysignal.com, and you can get Abuse of Power on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever books are. Also, check me out on Twitter at FredLucasWH.
Thank you so much, Fred Lucas, for being our guest here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. Take care and God bless you.
You too. Thanks.
And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, AM, FM 24/7. And, of course, you can find us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. We'll be right back after these messages. I'm Sharon Engel. I'm here with my co-host, Rick Trader, and coming up is one of our favorites, Dr. Gerard Lameiro, who's an author, philosopher, economist, and engineer, and he'll be talking about who lost the presidential debate.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free, no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for a rebroadcast of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Be sure to like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And with that, Sharon, another longtime friend of our show is with us, and please make that introduction.
Of course, it's always my pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. Gerard Lameiro, who is an author, philosopher, economist, and engineer. He's also the author of 5 books and is a popular TV and radio talk show guest. Dr. Lameiro was a member of the 1980 Presidential Electoral College and personally cast 1 electoral vote for Ronald Reagan for President of the United States of America. Dr. Lameiro accurately predicted the Trump victory long before most pollsters and pundits gave Trump even a small chance of winning the presidential election. Dr. Lameiro correctly predicted every state that candidate Trump actually carried in the 2016 election. His latest book, Real World Socialism, is also available on Amazon.com and Kindle and other devices. Dr. Lameiro, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Hi, how you doing?
Well, we're great, and it's good to see you looking so good as well. You had kind of a about with some health problems last year, so we didn't get to talk to you as much as we wanted to. But now we're glad to have you, especially in the thick of this election. We've seen a kind of an interesting debate go on. It kind of reminded me of an old-fashioned Donnybrook or food fight or something. It didn't seem like there were many questions to answer, just a lot of yelling and trying to talk over one another. And it seemed like everybody came out pretty badly bruised, including the moderator. So who lost the debate?
Was that a question?
That's the question. Who lost it?
Yeah, I lost the question there.
Oh, sorry. Who lost the debate?
Oh, who lost the debate? I wasn't quite sure if that was the whole question or not.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, who lost the debate? That's the easy question. A lot of people ask me who won, and some people ask me who lost, and the easy question is who lost. Chris Wallace lost.
Yes.
Going into the debate, I thought he was a reasonably objective journalist, at least as much as you can expect these days. But he was absolutely biased, and the bias so incredibly strongly that it's hard to say that he wasn't the loser. Because, let me start with language. If you look at the language of the questions, it was written with questions as if the Democrats had written it themselves. When you say things like he did, for example, when he talked about, which is the best example? Well, probably something like the racial sensitivity training. You know, he talked about the critical race theory training that's going on, which is anti-American, Marxist, and just about as bad as you can imagine, and being forced on so many people around the country. Trump, when he heard about it, eliminated it from the federal government with executive orders and that. But how does it get phrased by Chris Wallace? He called it racial sensitivity training. How could anybody be against racial sensitivity? That's not racial sensitivity. It was racially inflammatory material that's anti-American and anti-white. And if you're born white, you're automatically commit the sin of being racist. That's ridiculous. And that's just one question. I remember there was another question where Biden was talking, and Biden said something about I can't get through this because of all the ranting of Trump. And then Wallace says, and he laughed. He said, "Me too. I can't either." You know, so he was agreeing with one of the debaters. That's not fair. So Chris Wallace was totally biased and unfair. His questions were softballs to Biden and hard follow-ups to Trump. He kept asking him about his taxes, but he mentioned about the racial issues, and he didn't ask Biden, why did you say if you're black and you don't vote for me, you're not black? You know, he didn't ask him any tough questions.
Well, so that gets us to the winner then. If we've got a clear loser in Chris Wallace, who won the debate?
Well, Donald Trump won. And why did he win? He made a lot of points against Biden. He came out and he mentioned the fact that he would lock down the country again. Most people are against the lockdown, 70%. And he let people know this guy's going to lock down. He let them know that he doesn't support law and order. He couldn't get them to say law and order. Time after time, Trump was making valid points that especially made his base happy, but made a lot of other people happy. Biden, on the other hand, was running from everything. He couldn't talk about law and order. He couldn't talk about the Supreme Court. He couldn't talk about, you name it. He couldn't talk about almost anything. All he could keep doing is calling Trump a clown, which I think is ridiculous. I think you should have respect for the office of the president, especially if you want to become president. Why should anybody respect him if he were to win, which he's not going to? I think he was very unprofessional, calling him a liar, calling him all sorts of names, racist, you name it. Biden came across poorly. Trump came across as strong but aggressive, and I think that's exactly what he needed to do.
Now, all the interruptions, all the way through, it was just one interruption after another. Either Trump interrupting Biden, Biden interrupting Trump, or Wallace interrupting both of them. It was hard to get a square answer or even a square rebuttal through the whole thing. So, what about that?
Well, another loser was the format. The format was ridiculous. Wallace comes up with some question, whatever the question is, some profound question, supposedly, and says to Trump, you got 2 minutes to answer. So Trump answers, and he gives it to Biden for 2 minutes. Biden comes in, instead of answering it, he comes up with all these lies about Trump and calls Trump a liar and a clown and everything else. And so Trump tries to assert himself in to get a rebuttal, but he's not allowed to rebut anything. He keeps getting cut off by Wallace and say, well, we don't have time for that now. We'll get to that later. We have to go to another topic. He has to keep going to another topic, but he never finishes one topic completely. It was really a frustrating thing to see it.
And I think the more that there was all of this talking over one another and the interruption, it made Wallace look weak, like he didn't have control of the situation, which I'm not sure he did he?
No, he didn't have control of the debate, but he also had a format that was pretty weak and was not effective. I mean, they should really have true debates where maybe you have a moderator say, okay, we're getting started, you go first, and then stay out of it. And let Trump say this, and then let Biden answer. And if he says it's a lie, well, then Trump say, no, it's not a lie, here's the data. They'd have some back and forth, but this way, Biden was hiding from everything, and Trump kept getting cut off. It was really a ridiculous debate. And we don't have debates. We need to have like the old Lincoln-Douglas debates of old.
Well, certainly there needed to be a little decorum, and there wasn't. It was quite comical in some places to just see them going after one another like there wasn't an audience watching this whole thing. We are talking with Dr. Gerard Lameiro, who is an author, philosopher, economist, and engineer. He also is our favorite prognosticator, and he has made some wonderful predictions as well as writing some great books. The latest one is Real World Socialism. I'm Sharon Angle. I'm here with my co-host, Rick Trader. We're talking with Dr. Lameiro about the debate, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
And welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, for rebroadcast of our show, be it our TV show or our radio show, check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Dr. Gerard Lameiro is with us, and as Sharon has said, he's our favorite prognosticator. He's an author, philosopher, economist, and engineer. He's also got a great new book out, Real World Socialism. Dr. Lameiro, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
Sure.
Dr. Lameiro, we had a couple of really news-making events take place. First was the debate, then the revelation that President Donald Trump and many members of his team around him come down with the Wuhan flu. And Dr. Lameiro, it heartens me for you to say that President Trump is going to win this election. But looking at the polls, especially since the debate, Joe Biden has stretched his lead over Donald Trump. The polls are now saying the Real Clear Politics average is saying 8.5 points now. Dr. Lameiro, what are you seeing differently from these polls?
Well, I think the polls are wrong again. Most of them that have come out recently in the last few days seem to be wrong. Some of them are egregiously wrong. In other words, the mistakes are so obvious in them that they can't possibly be right. But the forecast models just keep going on, and they don't change very often because they involve amalgamation of many different trends that are all influencing millions of people. And the trends are in Donald Trump's favor, and that's why I think he's going to continue to win by a large margin. And actually, I think his support is actually going up slightly after his COVID-19 recuperation, because as you know, right now we're hearing today that he's going to go back to the White House shortly. Mm-hmm. And the numbers we see seem to be indicating people are very sympathetic and they're happy to see him, and they like seeing a hero and somebody who fought the virus and won, just like he fights everything else and wins. Mm-hmm. He's a hero for America, just like our generals were. 9 presidents were generals before they became president. And America has a love affair with tough generals like General Patton, General MacArthur, and others. And they like General Trump, even though he's never been in the Army, and that he's still a general in many people's minds.
Are you surprised that sympathy for the president hasn't helped him even more, especially in the polls? I can think back when Ronald Reagan was shot. After he recuperated, he had like an 81% approval rating. Donald Trump is not even breaking 50%.
Well, Donald Trump has 348 electoral votes in my forecast model. It's not hard. It's not easy to go much higher. He's got most of the states. If he picks up California, New York, that'll make a difference, but it's going to be hard to get it much higher than 348. He may go to 367 electoral votes. But no, I think the sympathy vote is just not picked up well by some of the polls we've seen recently, especially that one that said he was, I think, 14% ahead among registered voters. Registered voter polls are never good because most registered voters actually don't vote. A large percentage of them don't vote, I should say.
Dr. Lameiro, what effect do you think this mail-in balloting is going to have on this election? Now, mail-in balloting is different from absentee balloting. With absentee balloting, you must request the ballot from for instance, where I live, you have to request an absentee ballot from your county. The last election, when I voted by absentee ballot. I had to show identification going into the courthouse. I had to show identification when I picked up the ballot. I had to show identification when I filled out the ballot. Much different from mail-in balloting. We're seeing horror stories every day with this mail-in ballot. So what do you think the effect may have on this election?
Well, for one thing, it's going to make it very easy to litigate the election. And you know, the Democrats are calling for the media not to announce the winner of any state on election night. They don't want to hold back on every state until all the ballots are counted. And they'll say that's the only way to get the true answer. And in the meantime, you know, they're printing them in the back room or something. I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
No, but ballots appear. We had so many cases where ballots mysteriously appeared later. You know,
but don't you think this is going to have an effect on the outcome of this election?
Oh, well, that is the most difficult part of the question. I want to answer that last for you. Okay. But what I want to say is it does open it up for fraud, because we know, for example, they send out multiple ballots to the same address because people, there may be a house that's rented for a year, somebody moves out, they don't deregister, they might leave the state or go to another place, and that vote is mailed to them, and then somebody else moves in, you may get 5 ballots in one location. And I've heard of people, even radio hosts, that get multiple ballots mailed to their home.
Well, Dr. Lameiro, I'll do you one even better. My very good friend Sharon Angle, in checking out voter registration, found a person who was actually registered to vote from a funeral home.
Wow.
Sharon, you might want to tell that story since we're talking about it.
Since we're talking about it. Well, I was just walking door to door as a candidate to what we consider to be voters that vote every time. They vote in all primaries, all general elections. So these were hardcore voters. And I found one registered to vote at a funeral home. So I just knocked on the door, asked if anyone by that name was living on the premises. And she smiled at me and said, "Honey, there's nobody living here." That was the end of that story.
Wow. Well, to go back to your question, Rick, I don't want to ignore it, but it's actually a very complex question. The possibilities are endless for the voter theft, purchasing of votes. We know all sorts of anecdotal stories already of things that are going wrong. And so the possibility is it could get way out of control. My forecast model indicates that Trump's election is going to be so large that even thousands of votes stolen, and I'm assuming thousands, if not millions of votes will be stolen, probably more like a million even. That's my best guess.
Wow.
And despite that, Trump is going to win by quite a large number to where it's not going to pay the Democrats to litigate because they're not going to win even if they pick up some more ballots here and there. But I do think the possibilities are endless if they want to really make, voter theft their strategy. And it's sad, but some of those people are so intent on getting power that I wouldn't put anything past them. And that's just from my experience studying Democrats for so long. And they're really not Democrats, they're socialists nowadays.
Dr. Gerard Lameiro, you know us. We love you, buddy. We love having you on. And when things get dark and gloomy, I keep thinking of what you tell me every time we have you on the show. You're the man You're the man who predicted that Trump was going to get 311 electoral votes when everybody else was saying Hillary in a landslide. You were saying Donald Trump. The only state you got wrong was New Hampshire, and there was a lot of voter fraud there. And
I think I got New Hampshire right. I think that should have gone to Trump, like I said, but it went to Hillary because there were 5,000 votes that mysteriously came in there.
All right. Well, Dr. Lameiro, we love having you on, my friend. The book, Real World Socialism, Dr. Lameiro, please tell our audience how they could follow your work and also pick up your book.
All my books are on Amazon, in print and Kindle. They can follow me on Great News 4, FOR, America.com. And by the way, I want to leave with a positive note. I think Donald Trump is going to win this election, despite the fact that there are going to be thousands, if not more, votes attempted to be stolen, because I think there will be a lot of attempts.
All right, Dr. Lameiro, again, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
You too.
And you are listening to and watching the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. Dr. Rich Swier is going to join us after the break. He is the publisher of the drrichswier.com report. We're going to talk about several items in the news. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing one-day bath and shower remodeling. The complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day. And for as little as $1.99 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And once again, shout out goes to folks who are listening to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas, and Reno, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, also Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and seen on the AUN television network. And with that, Sharon, our next guest is with us, and as you do with all our guests, make them feel welcome.
Well, it's always a pleasure for me to introduce Dr. Rich Swier, who is a 23-year Army veteran who retired as a lieutenant colonel. And we're always wanting to say thank you so much for your service, Dr. Swier. He was awarded the Legion of Merit for his years of service, and additionally, he was awarded 2 Bronze Stars with V for heroism in ground combat, the Presidential Unit Citation, and the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry while serving in the 101st Airborne Division in Vietnam. He now publishes the drrichswier.com report, and he has a daily review of news, issues, and commentary. Dr. Rich, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Well, it's always an honor to be with you two.
Well, it's our pleasure. You've written a commentary on election policies, politics, and social issues. Wow. That covers a lot of territory, but I guess the one that I wanted to start out with is, if the sheeple elect a Democrat president, a Democrat House, and a Democrat Senate, it means the country has slid so far downhill that it wasn't worth saving. Anyway, that's a harsh statement. Here we are, all oars in the water, coming up on these last 30 days of the election, and you're saying if we lose this one, the country was so far gone anyway that it wasn't worth it. That's harsh coming from a man who has fought for liberty most of his life and is still fighting.
Well, actually, that comment was sent to me by an anonymous admirer.
Okay.
And so that's not, well, let me go back. The 23 years I spent in the military, I was a part of that military that fought what? The Cold War. The enemy were the communists. What I fear, and I think what this fan of ours who sent me this anonymous commentary is concerned about, is if Democrats take the House, the Senate, and the White House, then America will become like California, or worse, will become like China, all right? In other words, we will become China. And if you look at the last 8 months, since this Wuhan flu, what has happened in America? We have become controlled. And how do you know you're controlled? When you follow what the government wants you to do, instead of what your conscience and your freedoms tell you to do. So you can go into Publix or a local supermarket or go into a restaurant and you've got people wearing masks. All right? Now think about people in China wearing masks. Why are they wearing masks? Because the government tells them to, okay? The Chinese government, when this Wuhan thing broke down, they literally shut down the entire province. They stopped all air travel, stopped all vehicle travel. Well, guess what? We have states that are doing exactly the same thing. New York comes to mind, California comes to mind, Oregon comes to mind. But so we're in a situation now where we have an election. They don't have elections in China. Okay, they take the long view. They just reelect everybody. I mean, everybody who's in the Politburo gets reelected. It's automatic. So the question becomes, where are we now in this election? Now, there's a bright note. If you don't know it, because they won't report it, President Trump is actually told his immigration folks to crack down on anyone coming into the United States from any communist country. The immigration policy, and it's actually based on an immigration policy that happened in the 1950s, and it's actually a policy based on a series of laws that were passed by Congress between World War I and the 1950s that state, here's what it states, that these laws state that any alien who is or has been a member or affiliate of a communist or any other totalitarian party are quote unquote inadmissible for immigration in the United States. So the president is taking act, even though he's sitting in Walter Reed. Well, I guess pretty soon here he's going to be heading back to the White House, and God bless him and God bless his wife, and that he's been given a clean bill, a sort of a clean bill of health by his doctors. But he's already working on this. So we need to turn this around. We need to elect the president, Donald Trump. We need to take back the House. We need to keep the Senate. If we want to keep America, we have to do all three of those things. And it's as simple as that. And plus we want to turn into communist China, as my friend pointed out. And by the way, he quotes in his anonymous email to me, he quoted Maya Angelou. It says, if someone tells you who they are, believe them. And the Democrats are telling us who they are. Every day they're telling us who they are. So it's really, really important to listen to what the Democrats are saying and are their quote unquote associated organizations such as Black Lives Matter and Antifa. If you listen to what they're saying, if you actually listen to what they're saying, we should all be standing in line right now, waiting for the polls to open if they haven't already.
Well, you mentioned that law in the 1950s. Now, I remember the McCarthy era, not too well, but they were having trials of communists, and I thought that law was repealed, I guess, but it's still on the books according to President Trump. He's using it. So can we expect McCarthyism to come back? Are we going to go after the communists again? Because that was really what they were doing, was having trials of communists.
Well, interestingly, Senator McCarthy was right.
Yeah.
There were communists in our government, and there are communists in our government. Okay? Today, there are communists, literally communists, and they're part of the Democratic 94 members of the Democratic Progressive Caucus, 93 in the House and 1 in the Senate, named Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. They are the Progressive Caucus is a socialist, Marxist, Leninist, communist group. They have a large voting bloc. That's what's driving Nancy Pelosi to put up all these crazy policies. So there you have it. Now, McCarthy, it was actually the House Committee on Un-American Affairs that actually did most of McCarthy got the blame, but yes, I think we need to have a purge, if you will. I hate to say this, but a purge to make sure, because look, I fought against communists. I didn't expect America to become a communist nation. All right? And the law says if you're a member of a totalitarian party or a communist, You can't come to America. Now, the question is if you are found to be a communist, like, Dianne Feinstein's for 20 years aide, who was a member and a spy for the Communist Party, okay, you get deported, okay? So, you have it at the highest levels of government. And matter of fact, Rick did a great article called The 4 Steps. You were talking about the 4 steps. Well, I think we've already gone through 3 steps, moving America from a full constitutional republic. In the last 9 months, we've moved 3 of the 4 steps to become a communist nation. And that's what I'm concerned about. In this election, people say this is the most consequential of all time. President said that, and I absolutely agree.
Well, we have to take a break. We are talking with our guest, Dr. Rich Swier, who is a 23-year Army veteran, fought in Vietnam, and has written now article upon article that he's publishing in the drrichswier.com report. We were talking about one of those articles today. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos radio show network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, NetTalk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharon Angle here with my co-host Rick Trader, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Once again, we want to welcome you back. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with Sharon Engel and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for a rebroadcast of our show, be it our TV show or a radio show, there's plenty places to go, but check out our website, ccrshow.com. That's ccrshow.com. Also, check out the website of the AUN Television Network at aun-tv.com. Dr. Rich Swier is our guest. He is the publisher of the drrichswier.com report, a daily review of news, issues, and commentary. Dr. Rich, thank you for holding through that break. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Dr. Rich, Sharon and you were talking about the McCarthy era and that Donald, our president, wants to put a stop on communists coming into this country. And Dr. Rich, you have a very interesting stat in this article. From the data from the year 2013, that there were 22,000 visas were issued to Chinese nationals, but the number is jumping. The latest number is 186,000. I mean, that's a huge jump, Dr. Swier.
Well, yes, and if they're Chinese citizens, they're members of the Communist Party of China.
Right.
And by the way, that was a few years ago. That was actually under the Bush administration. It was actually the Obama administration that opened the gates even further to China. And of course, we understand where Joe Biden and his son Hunter were doing in China. Okay, I mean, Hunter Biden got a $1 billion deal that no major bank, no major brokerage firm in the world ever got. But here you got the son of the sitting vice president cuts actually I think it was $1.5 billion deal with the Chinese government. And guess what they were using the money for? Guess what they were investing in? Guess what Hunter Biden was investing in? Chinese companies to give China control over those companies. Companies like aircraft companies that make critical aircraft that are what are called dual purpose. They can be used either for private or for military purposes. They were investing, Hunter Biden was investing in what we call rare earth companies. So the Chinese have got, look, the Chinese own Hollywood. They own, in my mind, the Democratic Party, and particularly Joe Biden and his son. Now, couldn't you see Hunter Biden, if President Joe Biden is elected, can you see Hunter Biden maybe becoming the Secretary of the Treasury?
Well, I could see him becoming ambassador.
You shake your head. You shake your head.
Doctor, no, well, I shake my head in not disbelief of what you're talking about, but in oh my God, what would this be? What would this become? I could see Hunter Biden becoming the ambassador to the Ukraine or the communist China. Dr. Rich, you and Sharon were talking about a quote from Maya Angelou. If someone tells you who they are, believe them. And I'll tell you that what that made me think about. Remember Barack Obama coming out and saying, "We are days. We're only days from transforming America fundamentally." A lot of people in this country thought, well, this is just the political slogan, but he was serious. He was absolutely serious. And when you talk about the McCarthy era, of all the communists and government in Hollywood, now we're seeing them in our media, which is a scary thought.
Yes. Well, of course. I mean, when you have major networks using this very same language as the Chinese media are using, let me just give you one example. What was the first thing after it came out and the president started using the term Wuhan flu, right? That it came from China. What was the first thing the media and the Democrats did? Oh my God, you're being you can't do that. So they immediately changed the narrative from Wuhan flu to COVID-19. They never pinned it on the Chinese. It's still
not only that, they started to call the president a racist because he was calling it the Wuhan flu. Dr. Rich Swier, I wrote an article over the weekend that you so graciously published on the Dr. Rich Swier report, and it was my 4-step theory. And it starts out that my theory is of reaching anyone that you want to talk to. Those people are only 4 calls away. And in the article I talk about, let's say I want to reach Mr. D. First I call Mr. A, who knows Mr. B, who used to work with who plays golf with Mr. C, who used to work with Mr. D. In that article I talked about the possibility, and it's only a possibility, and I hate conspiracy theories, that this Wuhan flu was passed on to Donald Trump from either somebody in the Communist Democrat Party of the United States who we know hate the president, or possibly from a government entity such as the Chinese or such as Russia. And Russia has a history of using diseases, using chemical weapons to punish their enemies. And let's for a minute talk about this Wuhan flu, and I'll tell you why. I found out something very, very interesting. That in 2019, in October 2019, there was something called the World Military Games of 2019. You know where they took place?
China.
You know what city?
Wuhan.
So we can make these steps. We can take these steps. And I'm really condensing this because we only have a few minutes left with you, Dr. Rich. The 2019 Military World Games took place in Wuhan in October. 19th to 27th of October. Do you remember right after the Wuhan flu was released on the world where China said this virus came from? They said that, they blamed it on the U.S. participants who participated in the Military World Games in Wuhan. They used that as a cover-up. So also in this article that you produced, or you published, that I wrote over the weekend, was a picture. The picture was of the ceremonies in the Rose Garden at the White House, announcing the appointment of Judge Amy Barrett. In that audience, on the second row alone, were 6 people very close to Donald Trump who mysteriously came down with what I call the Wuhan flu or COVID-19, including 2 senators, First Lady Melania Trump, Kellyanne Conway, Governor Chris Christie, 2 senators, Tillis and Lee, who, by the way, are on the Judiciary Committee. Now, who, in your mind, Dr. Rich, would love to see the nomination of Judge Barrett stopped?
Well, obviously the Democrats and the Chinese. And now remember, what did Chris Wallace say? There was one question that was actually on target. He asked Joe Biden, would you pack the Supreme Court? And Biden refused to answer the question. He's been asked that multiple times since that presidential debate. He refused to answer the question. So that he understands the key. By the way, remember who was the chairman of the Judiciary Committee when they for Robert Bork and for Clarence Thomas?
Good old Joe Biden.
Good old Joe Biden. Joe Biden used what I would call it was a blood sport. It was called a blood sport. And guess who attacked Kavanaugh the most on the Senate Judiciary Committee? Kamala Harris. Be ready for some more character assassination and blood sport on the 12th when the committee hearings start.
Well, Dr. Rich, I'll say that I do believe it was the savage attack on Brett Kavanaugh that actually saved the Senate for the Republicans.
Yes.
So I say bring it on, Dr. Rich. I say
too.
Bring it on. And I'll tell you, there's another question I have for you. Thomas Jefferson wrote this, and we could wrap up our conversation with you with this. Thomas Jefferson said, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Dr. Rich, are we approaching that stage?
Yes.
And why do you feel that?
And you can look at Portland, you can look at Chicago, you can look at New York, you can look at Los Angeles, you can look at San Francisco, and you will see that it's happening as we speak. Right. There are tyrants in the street, and there are patriots standing on the sideline being attacked, and those patriots include the men and women who wear the uniform of the local police.
Dr. Rich, I'll say one of those patriots is Donald Trump himself. I'm really wondering if this Wuhan flu wasn't passed on to him on purpose. Because when you look at all the people around him, by the way, it was announced that the press secretary has also come down with the Wuhan flu.
So you got 8.
So you've got all these people. You've got all these people that are surrounding President Trump that got it. Some people think that the genesis of all these people around Trump getting it started at the Cleveland debate. Nobody from Joe Biden's side has tested positive for this. I think that, Dr. Rich, I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think the Civil War has started.
I think you're right. And Sharon and us and you are in it, in the middle. And God bless us all. God bless America. And God bless President Trump. He's being released, I believe, today at 6:30 or thereabouts.
Well, by the time this airs, he will be released. He will be released from the Walter Reed Army Medical Center. And Dr. Rich, I want to thank you for joining us here on Conservative Commandos. Can you please tell our audience how they could follow you, follow your articles, and also the great articles of the drrichswier.com report?
Well, if you want to follow Conservative Commando radio programs and you want to follow Rick Trader and his great articles, you go to drrichswier.com, drrichswier.
All right. Dr. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. Take care and God bless.
God bless.
You are listening to the Conservative Commandos with Sharon Angle and yours truly, Rick Trader. Don't go away. Sharon and I will be back with more right after this break.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Aaron Angle, I always appreciate you sitting in with me as my co-host here on the Conservative Commandos radio show. But it's time we wrap up. And Sharon, please tell our audience how they could follow you when you're not here.
Well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just go to SharonAngle.com, SharonAngle.com. And of course, I always like to thank our guests at the end of the show. They're what makes our show great. And we always learn so much from them, as you say. Our first guest, Fred Lucas, was here to talk about his book, Abuse of Power Inside the 3-Year Campaign to Impeach Donald Trump. We learned some really interesting things about Mitt Romney and Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler and, of course, Nancy Pelosi and the squad. Our second guest, Dr. Gerard Lameiro, he's always good for predictions. He's still predicting a Trump win, and he let us know who really won the debate the other night. And finally, our good friend, Dr. Rich Swier, talking about communism invading this country and what looks like a war in the streets already starting.
All right. But for right now, we're out of time. We got to run. We got to go. But before we do that, though, during our interview with Dr. Rich Swier, we alluded to an article that we wrote about the possible genesis of where Donald Trump and the people around him got the Wuhan flu, and maybe it wasn't such an accident. We'll go into that a little bit more on tomorrow's Conservative Commandos radio show. But for right now, we're out of time. We got to run and we got to go. Take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.